I'm not dancing, honestly. Right, hello ladies and gents. Anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Mark. I've got the honour of being the best man today. I'd like to thank Sarah for making this happen. I think it's been alluded to already. But Paul's literally zoning out for the whole wedding. I think she looks absolutely stunning today. And this ceremony has been amazing so far. And hopefully it continues to tonight. So, last night in the welly, after a few beers, me and Paul went through what I could or couldn't speak about in this wedding. Right? Where the boundaries were. Especially now he's a councillor. The Tories never have a good scandal, do they? So, the things I can't talk about. The time when he was wrongly arrested at the playoff final at Wembley. After being beaten up by the bouncer, claret all over his face. I always remember Paul, literally handcuffed. He turns around and literally says, "Well, there's one for the bucket list." Idiot. Right, we agreed we won't talk about twigs and leaves.
Oh, God, no.
No, we won't talk about that, Paul, will we? Russians? Snapped banjo strings? £10, 20 pence taxi fares? Dublin toilets? We agreed not to talk about holidays abroad and antics to do with them. I will talk about one story though in Cape Verde. Which one am I talking about, Paul? You get nervous now, aren't you?
There was many.
There was many. Right, anyhow, me and Paul about 15 years ago went to Cape Verde. And it was a beautiful holiday complex. After a few days around the pool and the resort complex, we decided to go to the town.
Oh, God.
Even though we were advised not to go to the town. Weren't we? Anyhow, we walked along the beach in this town, stopping off at these like shacks, like lovely little seaside bars. Amazing. So we got to this town, which was literally a shanty town. So everyone's outside, just sat around, and there's one toilet, isn't it? So everyone sat there, about 50 people in this bar, all sat around, and Paul sat to go to the toilet. And all it is literally like an outside toilet, you know, you have like back in the olden days, just a shitbox. So Paul goes in there, and I'm just listening to the music, chilling out, and then after about 10 minutes, I'm like, I know he has huge turds, but he's been in there for absolutely ages. And then all you hear is, "Help! Help! I'm stuck!" Right, so what this idiot's done, he's snapped the handle door off the inside of the toilet, which has snapped it off the outside toilet, so he can't get out, and the whole bar's laughing their heads off like that. You know what I mean? Everyone is just on the floor. You know what I mean? But after about 10 minutes being a good mate, I'm like, mate, how are we going to get you out? And if you think about where we are, we're just off the coast of Africa, in Cape Verde, and the line he comes out with, he's stuck in his toilet, he comes out with, "Ring me, man!" suppose, pull him out of a window about the size of a cat flap. Right? And yeah, he's rescued. Right, so I'm not allowed to talk about any of them things. So I thought I'd talk about Paul's life and jobs. For anyone who doesn't know him back in the day, me and Paul probably go back from about 5-year-old. Grew up together, known each other for about 35 years, went to primary school together. Sarah was in our class at school, it's only took him about 30 years to win her over. Right, back then in primary school, Paul was this geeky little boy.
Oh, he's spilling that all over. Fucking hell.
If you can imagine, NHS specs, his haircut, Mary used to put a ball round his head and shave the sides. Right? Used to have this lad that looked like a mushroom. No wonder Sarah wasn't interested. When we were older, Mary used to shave his back. I guess that's your job now, Sarah, like you said the other day, you shaved it last week. And what did she do yesterday? Plucked his eyebrows. No, that's what she told us. She actually plucked his eyebrows. Anyhow, you've got this geeky haired little boy, Umbro jumper, popper tracksuit bottoms, with his 9 elbows, affectionately known as Albert Bonnet. Speaking of his elbows, he once took archery. He was playing archery, and the instructor was like, Paul, straighten your elbow. He's like, it is straight. Getting proper angry like he does, you know what I mean? That was before he took up Crown Green Bowls. Anyhow, this wasn't any normal boy. This was a lad with plans in his life. He didn't want to be an astronaut. He didn't want to be a footballer, because he's scared of the ball. His dream job, and this is true, was to be a bus driver. No, I'm being serious, he wanted to be a bus driver. I used to go around his house, knock on the door, Mary would be like that. Oh, he's not in, man. He's down Eston taking bus timetables. And then go down Eston on his bike, write down all the bus timetables, right? Then come home, go to the drive, right? And draw it all out, literally, draw all the bus routes out, draw it with his 9 elbows. And he'd be like, oh, the 263 is 10 minutes late. The 64 route's rubbish.
You joined me though.
He was only 17, bless him. Going back to the rubbish route, anyone who knows Paul knows he just wants to change the rules. All the time. Started with buses, then out into football, then now into politics. He just wants to change everything. He's not happy with that, eh?
No, never happy. Change is good.
Now this young man, he eventually grew up after going bald at 12. Left school, decided to join the RAF as an air traffic controller, so he's gone from buses to being aeroplanes. If anyone, like I spent 15 years in the military, anyone knows Paul, he's not suited for the military whatsoever. You know what I mean? Anyhow, after they crashing through planes and decided the military life wasn't for him, kicked out. He decided to go back to uni. Around this time, Paul wanted fame. he started applying for TV shows. I think everyone knows where I'm going with this, don't they?
Should have had a big screen on by now, shouldn't he?
Eventually, hitting the big screen with his debut, the ITV hit, Date My Daughter. If anyone watched it, honestly, please watch it. It's the most cringe-worthy 30 minutes you'll ever watch in your life. Wink, wink. Anyhow, on the show, he turns around and says, right, I definitely know I'm going to propose to someone. The Red Arrows do this thing. This is on live TV. The Red Arrows do this thing. They make a massive love heart. Another red arrow comes through, strikes through the heart, and that's what I'm going to do. That must have been really special for you, Sarah. Also on the show, he prepared for his first dance tonight, so no pressure, we're all looking forward to the tango. Anyhow, he gets a normal job, raising everyone's energy bills, has already been alluded to in the speeches before. Cycling into bollards on the way to work, ringing 999 after winding himself up. He buys a house, and a couple of roofs later, did he ever mention his new roof to anyone? He then gets into politics. Everyone will remember the Xmas singing at election campaign.
Oh, God.
I don't know what's worse. The winking on Date My Daughter, or you singing on Facebook. Right, anyhow, to this present day, he's now got Sarah, Amelia, Alex, and Ralph the dog. He's still got one thing missing in his life, though. The man with a plan. He's a counsellor. The whole reason he's become a counsellor isn't because he wants to do better for the area or get into Downing Street. The whole plan all along, the reason he wants to get into politics is use his influence with the council, going back to the Hoywana dream, changing all the rules. It's about to happen. It's about to come true, that childhood dream. The dream of being a bus driver. He's done it, but he's gone one step further. The man with a plan, and the announcement's coming out next week.